to talk about why you should care if you're not a teacher yourself. And I'm going to do something that I never do in my classes, and I'm going to read my speech.
You're prepared!
I don't have children, but I do support I do support the public school system through my taxes. I do this because it's the law, and also because I like civilization. I like having traffic lights. I like having police. And I like having a school system where everyone can get a quality education. Why do I care about other people's children getting a quality education? Because I live in a democracy. And in a democracy, you are ruled by your neighbors. And I want my neighbors to be smart. I want my state to have people in it who aren't poor because they don't have an education to get today's jobs. We all know that if you don't go to college, your earning potential is crippled. I don't want to live in a crippled economy of North Carolina. Nothing I've said so far is new. Everybody is in favor of education. The only question we have, the only debate is, how much should we pay the teachers who provide this service that everyone desires? So that's what I want to talk about. Now, I've heard it said that teachers shouldn't complain about their salaries because it was their choice to be teachers. Maybe you've heard that one too. Sometimes we even say it to each other. None of us got into this for the money. Well, let's say that teaching is a choice. My question is, in 2013, who in his right mind would choose to be a teacher in North Carolina? No one. According to an NEA report published earlier this year, there are only 2 states out of the 50 in this country who pay their public school teachers less than we do. South Dakota and the great state of Mississippi.
Damn, we're below Louisiana!
You came from Louisiana to North Carolina.
That was your choice. You didn't get the money.
Some people will say, but we live in the South, and the standard, the cost of living is higher here, and that offsets the lower salaries. Now I see the logic in that, but let's see if the numbers add up. According to that same report, Alabama, Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, Louisiana, South Carolina, Tennessee, Virginia, Missouri, and West Virginia all have higher teacher salaries than North Carolina. The only state in the whole South where teachers are paid worse than here is the great state of Mississippi. Now, why should you care if you're not a teacher or you're not planning to be a teacher? First, there's the expense of training teachers. ECU is a very good teacher training school, but we pay for it through our taxes. My question is, what happens to those students after we pay for them to get trained? If we don't offer them a competitive salary, they will get their training here at our expense and then move to a state where teaching is more highly valued. I don't mean a lefty state like California, where I grew up, or Colorado, or Connecticut. I mean our neighbor states, South Carolina, Virginia, Tennessee, West Virginia, Florida, Georgia. These are places you can drive out of North Carolina to in less than 1 day. And all of them think teachers are worth more than we do. I'm worried that if we keep paying low salaries, we're going to start subsidizing those other schools' school systems by sending them our teachers that we train. That's bad economy. But teaching is a calling, you might say. It's not about the money. And that is true so long as you have enough money. And the question is, how much is enough? Let me offer you two tests. The first test is, do you see your new teachers moonlighting? Yes. Over the years, I've seen many of my own students waiting tables, and there is nothing wrong with that. I had a job in college, they have jobs in college, that's normal. What's not normal has happened to me twice now. I have been waited on by former students who have graduated, who are public school teachers now.
That's wrong.
That's wrong. In the words of St. Paul, these things should not be. Why should you care if you're not a teacher? If they're waiting tables at night, it means they're not with their families. It also means they're not grading your children's papers. They're not preparing for tomorrow's classes. And this is not their fault. I can tell you, they are not doing that by choice. But being a teacher is a full-time job. If we expect our teachers to work full-time, then we need to pay them a full-time salary. That's the first test. Is the salary so low that new teachers end up working a second job? The second test is, would you encourage your own son or daughter to become a teacher in this state, on this salary? The benefits that you are currently paying with no tenure and no salary increase for an advanced degree. Be honest. I bet you want something better for your own child. Well, I would submit that if it's not good enough for your child, it's not good enough for somebody else's. You are telling your children not to be teachers. What makes you think other parents aren't doing the same thing? Now, nobody wants their children to be a teacher, and nobody becomes teachers. So who is going to teach your grandchildren? Now, in a free market where people have choice, we all know the answer. Incompetence. Who can't get a better job doing something else, or martyrs. Now, there is no law against incompetence. Some of my best friends are incompetent. But you don't want them teaching your children. And you especially don't want martyrs teaching your children. They are emotionally fragile, and they're liable to infect their students, your grandchildren, with strange ideas, if you know what I mean. But who else is going to take those jobs that you told your children aren't good enough? Teaching won't make you rich. If it does, you're probably doing it wrong. But it shouldn't make you so poor that you would discourage your own child from being a teacher. So, for the sake of your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren who are going to need good teachers even more than you did, let's get our salaries in line with the neighboring states. Don't make our teachers work a second job while they're teachers. And don't rely on martyrs to educate your grandchildren. It's a false economy, and they will be the ones who pay for it. Thank you for listening. Please, fill out this card. My teacher took the time to do it, and let people know what public school teachers are already doing in North Carolina. Thank you.
Thank you.